And Patricia, have you logged in twice on here? Okay, so now that it's 12, let's just give people a couple of minutes here to actually get into the Zoom.
Alex, is it Art that's trying to record? I have an app that records.
Yeah, so the Zoom presentation is set to record as well.
So if it says Art on it or Otter, something like that, you can shut it off if I'm on there twice.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so while everyone else is trickling in here, we'll start to get ready here. So welcome to Boundless Accelerator Presents Toolkit Tuesday. I am Alex Miller, the program coordinator at Boundless Accelerator, and I'm happy to be here with you on this exciting session. I'd first like to welcome our American Sign Language interpreters from Asign, Sheila and John. Thank you both for joining us. While I'm at it, I'd also like to thank our corporate sponsors, Danby, Synergetics, and Invest Wealth. We are very grateful for their support in all we do. Before beginning the session today, I would like to give a land acknowledgement. As we gather today, let us take time to reflect on our privilege to live and work in Guelph, a city built over rich Indigenous histories. We are guests here, and we should reflect upon the responsibility to care for this land, the people who live here today, and the generations to come. If our actions today can move us towards reconciliation, we should take pause and make those decisions with intention and gratitude. This place we call Guelph has served as traditional lands and a place of refuge for many people over time, but more specifically, the Atewanderont and the Haudenosaunee. This land is held as treaty lands and territory with the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Guelph lies directly adjacent to the Halamade Tract and is part of a long-established traditional hunting ground for the Six Nations of the Grand River. Many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people have come across Turtle Island, call Guelph home today. So today's webinar is called Belonging Beyond Inclusion, Hiring for Sustainability and Growth, presented by Patricia Muir. In case some of you are new to Boundless Accelerator, here's a very quick history lesson. Boundless Accelerator was established in 2010 as Innovation Guelph and is one of 17 regional innovation centers in Ontario. We are proud to share with you that we have won many awards for our leadership in advancing Canadian entrepreneurs across the country. Yes, the country. While we are located in Guelph, Ontario, we serve the entire region of Southern Ontario and have one national program. This means that while most of our clients are located within Toronto to Waterloo corridor, we do have clients in BC, all the way to Nova Scotia, and throughout most of Ontario. We work with our clients, supporting them throughout multiple stages of business growth, from startup to scale up, with many programs and workshops, networking opportunities, and professional introductions. Recently, we introduced a brand new consulting division for larger startups with over $1 million in annual revenue. However, this information is on our website at boundlessaccelerator.ca. You can visit it anytime, but today we're here to not listen to me, but to hear from a very interesting presenter. I'd like to introduce you all to Patricia Muir. So Patricia Muir, combining business best practices with quality system principles. Patricia guides micro entrepreneurs and small business owners to discover their distinctive approach to maximizing the return on their commitment and investment of time and energy. Patricia enjoys contributing to Boundless Accelerator's clients, business mastery workshops, and leadership programs. She is continuously enriching content with cutting-edge research while dispelling business myths. Sorry, hit the next button there. Patricia's approach to diversity and inclusion revolves around creating a workspace that attracts individuals who align with the organization's fundamental values and principles. She emphasizes fostering a sense of belonging and going beyond mere inclusion in recruitment efforts to nature accountability and leadership. Should you have any questions for Patricia today during the presentation, please use the Q&A function or chat box, and we'll monitor that. And if time allows at the end, we'll share the questions. So thank you for joining us today, and let's get started. Over to you, Patricia.
Thank you, Alex. Okay. For some reason, I am on the wrong screen, but I will get there. There we go. Thank you, Alex. And thank you to ASL interpreter Sheila. Thank you very much. Okay, today we're going to talk about something that we think about a little differently. So today's takeaways are going to be something for you to think about. Understanding that there is a shift from diversity and inclusion to belonging. Many programs, DEI programs now, are seeing that belonging is a very important part of that strategy or the programs, and you will start to see the B come in more often. So today we're going to think about shaping an organization culture through values and through introduction to value-based hiring. We're going to be talking about identifying that team members need to resonate with your brand mission and your vision. So let's think differently. Let's do things differently. The foundation of success beyond diversity and inclusion includes a couple of points that are here on the screen for you. So it's a shift from diversity to inclusion to belonging. There is a nuance. There is a slight distinction between inclusion and belonging. Many programs are talking about giving people a seat at the table, but what does that really mean? For people to find value in these programs, they also need to feel that they are connecting and participating at the table as someone who is valued for their input, not just at the table to fill a diversity mandate or an inclusion mandate. So inclusion is about ensuring everyone has a seat at the table, creating an environment where differences are not just acknowledged, but celebrated. We've heard that language before, but what does that mean? It's an essential first step towards a diverse workplace. However, belonging goes a step further. It's about creating the space where everyone feels that they are an integral part of the team and that they're there for a sense of purpose and connection and contribution that goes beyond mere participation. When employees feel like they belong, their loyalty, their productivity, and their happiness at work soars, and it propels the business towards a more sustainable success. At its core, belonging is an emotional outcome of true inclusivity. So it's a little piece of wisdom. I always like to put in a few pieces of wisdom here. So something for you to think about. A sense of belonging cultivates a culture of care and unity, where individuals are driven not by their personal goals, but by a shared vision and mission that is aligned with common goals that unite everyone. So it's moving forward together for the well-being of the organization and the individuals that make up that organization. It can also spread out into the community, into the business community and the individual's personal community. When employees feel that they belong, their loyalty, productivity, and overall happiness soars, and it propels the business forward. So creating a cultural blueprint, that's what I'm trying to express to you today about having a blueprint for your organization around values. So defining your values that shine a light on the very soul of your business and resonates with your brand's mission and vision. When you start your business, you do have a vision. It does evolve over time, but you still have a brand within that mission and vision. And it's about living and breathing the very aspects of your company culture, from the way you communicate internally and externally, the way your employees communicate internally and externally. It's to how you make hiring decisions, measure performance, and acknowledge the development and growth of the people and the resources within your business. So how would you create your values? What's your compass? What are the steps? So I'm going to take you through a few steps here. We're going to start with reflect and identify. Begin by reflecting on the core mission and vision of your enterprise. What motivated you to start your business? Quite often you will hear people say, why? Why did you start your business? There's an important why for you. That's why you started the business. Identify the values that resonate most with that identity or that why. These values serve as a bedrock of your organization culture and should reflect who you are and where you aspire to be in your business. The second point is to engage and listen. We cannot do this in a vacuum as a business owner. We need to engage with our team members and listen to their perspectives. What values do they see that is vital to the company's success? They have some valuable input on that. Involving your team in this process only aids in identifying values that are truly representative of your organization and also fosters a sense of belonging and commitment to these values and therefore to your business. The third point is to define and integrate, or the next step, with the insights gathered, define a set of guiding values that are clear. Now, this will not be a list of 30 or so. There are lots of exercises that you can participate in as a business owner that give you a list of values that might resonate with you. But make sure that they're clear, actionable, and aligned with your company's goals. Ensure these values are integrated into every aspect of your business. So every action that is taken in the business should reflect the value, or at the very least, not fall outside of that value. So it's walking your talk, basically. Ensure these values are integrated and in your hiring practices, in your daily operations, and communicate the values consistently, not just once a year, not just once a quarter. It's every day. Your everyday action should consistently communicate those values. And it will help to attract and retain talent that is not only skilled, but they also share a commitment with your principles and your values. So here are examples of common values, but your values may be very different. So this is why I've illustrated this in a cloud, and some of them you'll notice expand and some of them detract. So there are certain times when those particular values show up big in your business. Empathy and understanding. It's about cultivating a team where everyone feels that they belong, that they're seen, they're heard, and they're understood. Empathy encourages a deeper connection and fosters a sense of belonging among employees, facilitating better communication within the organization between employees. Transparency and trust, transparency in decision-making and expectations and providing feedback, that builds a foundation of trust. Again, we can't do this in a vacuum. If we do, then there will be always a disconnect with employees about what are the core values really. Trust makes individuals feel secure, and their roles and their contributions promote innovation and growth. So we'll get to inclusivity and diversity, which we hear a lot of these days. This value enriches the organization culture and drives creativity and problem solving, because we have such a diverse group of employees that everyone's opinion is valued, and therefore everyone contributes and feels like they are contributing value. And this is where we lead to sustainable growth. Accountability and recognition. This is about establishing a culture where the efforts and achievements are recognized. There's many ways to recognize achievements. It's not just one party a year. It's not just about sharing things that are physical, like promotional items and things like that. People are looking for real, true, authentic recognition. It can be in the way of feedback. It might be in a different way of even discussing amongst the group and making sure that everyone is heard and there's a way of showing everyone that they are heard and what they say is valued. Then accountability and recognition, establishing a culture where efforts and achievements are recognized, but individuals hold themselves accountable. It doesn't mean they have to have a boss hold them accountable. They are very well able to be accountable themselves when you build a culture of accountability and recognition. The individuals hold themselves accountable and one another accountable as well. This fosters a sense of responsibility, pride, driving the organization towards its goals. And then there is continuous learning and improvement. So again, values can expand, can shift a little as a business grows, as the complement of staff changes and grows. But these core principles at the beginning, the core values, are very important to establish very early in the business. So I'd like to ask you just to ponder for a moment. What would you add, or what have you added to your organization? A cultural blueprint is about organizational values, as I've said before. So here are some examples. And whether you're in line or aligned with some of these organizations, whether you question their values, that's up to you. But here are some businesses that have their values rooted in different categories. So Nintendo, they're rooted in morals and behavior, the same as Netflix, the same as Forbes. So some of these are just single words that I pulled out, and I would encourage you to Google some of these organizations and read what their values, their expanded values are, because I'm just giving you little snippets here. Aspirational in capturing a company's ethos. Google is very well known for faster is better, whether we agree with it or not, but they build their business based on that value. Every action they take is based on faster is better. And Airbnb, embrace adventure. So I'm going to expand on the Airbnb in a few moments, but I just want to take you to the ESG, or social responsibility for a lot of organizations. That's their focus. So their values convey environmental or social purpose. Patagonia's pledge is to protect our home planet. That's just a little snippet for them, but there's more. Ben & Jerry's desire to support social and economic justice for marginalized communities. I would imagine if we walked into Ben & Jerry's, we'd see those actions in place there in action all the time. So a deep dive into value-based hiring, because this is the beginning of how do we build this culture of belonging. And it starts with how we do our hiring. So value-based hiring and its impact. Identify and hire employees who align with your company's values. So obviously you have to know what your values are to begin with, so that you can communicate, so that you can actually interview right from the job description, have those values expressed in that job description. By incorporating values in the hiring process, you create a team that is not just highly skilled, but is united by shared purpose, leading to a better teamwork environment and overall success. Also, by being intentional, and I will speak about that a little later in leadership around belonging, we choose to direct our focus and efforts toward what truly matters, and we align our actions with our core values and goals. So why is value-based hiring, why does it matter? First of all, it actually prioritizes a culture of character and well-being. It's beyond the culture fit. And I know many of you have probably gone through hiring where we talk about fit. Does the person fit our organization. So VBH, or value-based hiring, goes beyond that fit of skills and goes to how does this person add to our culture. So you can see we're elevating the purpose and the advantages of culture fit to a place of culture add. Placing importance on values in the hiring process ensures that candidates who join the team are aligned with your company's culture. It increases retention, and it promotes and elevates the value and understanding of diversity inclusion. So it actually helps to elevate what that is all about for your organization. What does diversity and inclusion mean? It also means belonging. So you actively seek individuals who share those particular values. Now, we will talk about strategies around value-based hiring, but we'll also talk about mastering the art of discernment in the hiring process. And this is where business leaders come into place. It's about mastering the art of discernment. So value-based hiring is about transitioning from a skill-focused to a value-driven recruitment, communicating values in the job posting and in recruiting materials. Values on your website is a great place to let people know that you are accountable within those values as well. Use behavioral-based interview questions to assess the candidate's alignment with your values. So this can be questions such as, how does this value play out in your life and in the work that you do? Asking a question like that of a prospect gets them to think about, do they align with your values? Because quite often they will recognize that they cannot be aligned with those values. So it would be a self-selection process on their part as well. So the long-term benefits of aligning new hires with company ethos is that, again, it prioritizes that culture add. We're not talking about just culture fit on skills. It's about how do they add to the culture. It brings about deeper engagement, increased retention, and an unwavering commitment by those employees. And it promotes diversity and inclusion and curbs bias. We all come with bias. We recognize our biases if we have delved into it and done the inner work. So this will help for them to identify where their biases are and how they can make a change in that. Through this method, you're not just filling positions, you are curating a community of dedicated professionals who will champion your vision, your passion, and your integrity. So creating a symphony of shared values is very important. This is the fun part. So you're creating something here. It's the essence of value-based hiring. It's about creating a team that works together toward a common goal. There's no outsiders. There's no one sabotaging. They're all together in this big symphony of cultures and shared values. Aligning personal values is very important for them to be able to align their own personal values so that they can amplify the team efforts. They bring something important to the team. And if you've done your due diligence in hiring based on values, then those people use less energy to be part of the team, which makes everyone's life so much better because there's not the drama involved. It's very important for you to lead by example. You set the tone as the owner of the business or the leader of the business. Curating your community. So there is a strategic process of value-based hiring. It goes beyond hiring employees for cultural fit. It attracts, recruits, and retains top talent through an authentic sense of belonging, inclusivity, and the person's feeling of purpose, and how that's aligned with the organization. It increases employee satisfaction, leading to powerful community of employee promoters. I'll explain for a moment for those of you who may not have heard this acronym before, but ENPS is a part of the promoter system, the customer promoter system, but it's called the Employee Net Promoter System. And it's often used as a tool to evaluate a great place to work. So if you're taking notes, jot that down and do some research on NPS and ENPS. Every team member is not merely a fit, but has a capability and capacity to elevate the culture. Reframing recruitment with a focus on aligning with values minimizes bias and leads to a more equitable and inclusive hiring process and better long-term hires. Have you ever turned down a job candidate because you didn't feel like they were the right fit? Quite often, it's like feeling that you just didn't connect with the person. They're different from us. The reaction is based actually on your personal feelings and opinions. Relying solely on hiring for cultural fit can result in a team that lacks diversity, lacks the sense of belonging. So mastering the ability to discern, this is where you play a big role. It's reframing with criteria for assessing candidates to identify, do they get it? Do they have the same values as you? Do they want the same? Do they want the same outcomes and values that you have and mission? And the important one is, have they got the capability and capacity to contribute to a value-driven vision? I'll refer here to, it's interesting that it's page 100. I just love that point. In a book that I use often with coaching, leadership coaching around micro businesses and small businesses. And it's called Traction, Get a Grip on Your Business. So take a note and take a look at that book. You can get a free chapter by going on to Gina Whitman's website. And there's a plethora of YouTube videos that can help you on your journey in traction. But the important thing about people when they describe this in the book about hiring is, do they get it? Do they want it? And do they have the capabilities and capacities to contribute? Some practical tips I mentioned before: ask open-ended questions to understand the candidate's values and motivations. We all have different values. There's nothing really wrong with other people's values, but what we're trying to achieve here is to make sure that we're hiring based on alignment with the values that we've set for our organization. Look for examples of how they have demonstrated values in their personal life and professional life. So ask those open-ended questions. Where does this value come up? Or how does it show up in your life or in your work? Observe their body language and the nonverbal cues as well to better understand their level of engagement with your values, because they can say yes, they understand that value. But it's important to dig a little deeper and watch the body language. How committed are they to this value, or is it just a check mark for them? So again, I repeat, do they get it? Do they want it? Do they have the capabilities and capacity to adapt, grow, and contribute to your value-driven vision? It's not just a team, but it's a legacy, and it's your legacy. Value-based hiring impacts team dynamics, innovation, and growth of your business. So Airbnb, going back to their value-based hiring, their mission is to live in a world where one day we can feel like you're home anywhere, and not in a home, but truly home. So that's a deep value feeling where you belong. They use this value-based hiring right from the very beginning of even entry-level positions, all the way up to their C-suite. It's not just for the C-suite, and it's for every day. From day one, they talk about this mission. Their mission is to champion the mission, be a host, simplify. Every frame matters. That's an interesting one, because when you think about an Airbnb, what does that mean exactly? Every picture frame matters, whether it's tilted or whether it's straight. It gives a sense of, this is a good quality place where I feel I belong. Be a serial entrepreneur. They put a little twist on that word serial, which I think is interesting. So they've made it fun as well. And they embrace adventure. So the very fact that they talk about being a serial entrepreneur they are showing that they embrace adventure. According to crowd staffing, insisting on a cultural fit actually deprives everyone from economic and innovation benefits that diversity brings. So let's look back at values, on the other hand, which offer amazing insight on attitude, character, work ethic, integrity, dedication, and accountability. It assesses a candidate's ability to think strategically and also contribute to the organization's long-term success. So your role to embody your vision and core values, to be intentional and have a discernment. Leading by example is very important. Setting the tone is very important. But engage your superpower. What is your superpower as a leader? So quite often that is your intentionality. By being intentional, we choose to direct our focus and efforts towards what truly matters in our business, aligning our actions with our core values and goals. Discernment allows us to make wise decisions that reflect those values. Values can be very important in helping us to stay on track with our decisions and not waver from what's important to us. It enables us to sift through distractions and prioritize activities that foster growth and connection and well-being. So here's your action plan. We're coming up to an action plan now. First of all, develop a guide to integrate your value-based hiring into your recruitment strategy, step by step. Define your core values, incorporate and communicate these values at all stages of the recruitment process, from job posting to interviews. Implement tools and resources to support your value-based hiring process, like assessments and training for hiring managers. It's very important to onboard. This one way to make employees feel like they belong is to have a good onboarding program. Onboard the new team member with conversations about the values and how the values are incorporated in their daily work, and continuously assess and review the impact of the organization's values and the team dynamics that are developing, and adjust when needed for growth. So hire for character and train for skills. In conclusion, I'd like to speak to you about establishing a robust and thriving organization, what that involves. It involves recruiting individuals who resonate with your fundamental values. It gives prominence to value-based hiring and evaluate its beneficial influence on your business, your team, and your overall achievements. Embed the values as a priority in your process and observe the favorable effect it has on your organization's ethos, expansion, and the heritage of your business. Act now, engage and continue the conversation, and connect with Boundless Accelerator for more information. And Alex, I think you're going to add a few links into the chat for people so that if they want to look more into value-based hiring, how it's critical to success, they can access that article. Here's another link that Alex will put in, Beyond Skills, the Power of Assessing Core Values in Hiring. And I hope that's going to be good reference and good material for you to be able to make a shift in and make a profound breakthrough in your values in your organization and the belonging of people in your organization. Would you like to open up the lines for open discussion or a Q&A, Alex?
Yeah, we'll see if we have two on with us right now. We'll see if either of them have any questions. Otherwise, we can get wrapping things up. That was an awesome presentation though, Patricia. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just, yeah, I see your chat. You added them. Thank you so much, Alex. That's great.
My pleasure.
Okay. So let me just get back. Thank you for your participation. It's very much appreciated. Your feedback is a gift to me, and I'm sure that Alex is going to send out some feedback information for you to fill out. And I would be very appreciative if you give feedback, honest feedback on what was important to you. What did you get from this presentation?
Perfect. Well, it doesn't look like they have any questions, so I guess we can wrap things up and some people can have half of their lunch back. So again, I just want to say thank you, Patricia. That was awesome. We have a little message in the chat saying thank you.
Thank you.
So if anyone would like to connect with Patricia, please reach out to me and I can directly contact the two of you. Before you disappear, as Patricia mentioned, I just dropped the feedback form inside of the chat there, as well as a few links that Patricia had shared with all of you. We'll be mailing out a copy of the presentation and the recording within the next 48 hours, roughly. It may not be on YouTube as it used to be anymore. We're still figuring out a few extra things, so we'll keep you posted about the YouTube, but for sure you'll get a copy of this. As a sincere thank you to Patricia, Asign, Sheila and John, and to our sponsors and everyone who's able to participate today. Have a great afternoon and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.